To make our beautiful and wonderful little stirrers, or even something that you can place in cups, what we're going to do is I use the Silhouette. You can definitely use Word or anything like that, but it's easier for me to show you within the Silhouette Studio program. So you're going to click. This is actually how I made it myself. But we're going to actually start from scratch. So we'll go to File, New, here we go. So anytime that you're within Silhouette, you're going to want to, and you're actually going to print on paper, you're going to want to come over to our registration marks. And we want our registration marks to be the Cameo, because that's what we have, which I've showed you. And we're going to do Cameo Studio Type 1. So there we go. This is the field that we can use, and then it will register and print out correctly. So now let's go, and we're just going to pick a shape. So let's go to my library, and the ones that I showed you used this frame right here. So we double click, and there we go. We're going to want to shrink these down. You know, you can do, this is going to be an inch. You can really do whatever style you want. Then you'll go to Object, and we're going to go to Replicate, and we're going to want to do column of 3. There we go. I suggest doing it this way only because, and you'll see, if you were to replicate it completely, so for the whole page, you're going to go outside of your marks, outside of these marks, and we don't want that. So go back to Replicate. We gotta click on the object, Replicate, and let's just say, I'll show you, fill a page. So there you go. That's what it's gonna look like. It works, sometimes it doesn't work, so we just cancel these out. I would say, so you don't waste space, try to squeeze some in. Again, you need to make sure that they're in the registration mark, so I have to actually pull these down. You want to be really careful with the Silhouette program, because if you at all touch these, it's a possibility that it will mess up, and you don't want that. So now that we have our base, and we're going to go over to our little cutter, cut settings, press on that. So right now we know that these are going to cut. These, all of these are going to cut. Okay? And that's what that shows you. So now we're going to go over to Style, because we want to type on our stuff. And let's see. Pick something pretty. Get off of that. Go over to our A and click inside. So obviously we got to make these a little smaller. Maybe not 8 print. Maybe we could do 9 print. That's very, very, very small. You're going to have to just play with it and figure out exactly what size it is that you want. What I suggest is just typing. So right now I'm just going to do, on our original ones, it's Crystal and Jamal. Down there, I think, let's go back and look. I have the worst memory in the world. It just says, whoop, 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 whoop. It says Crystal and Jamal, save the date. Okay, so we're gonna do that. Undo. Okay. Crystal and Jamal, save the date. 9, make another space. 9.12.15. Okay. Whoops, 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 whoops. We go over, we're gonna push this over. Now, this is when you can kind of play with it and figure out what size range you really want. So again, you're gonna press on the A, and let's just see what's gonna be too big. We do 14, that looks okay. We want nice, something nice. Some kind of nice handwriting, or typing, I should say, not handwriting, but what does that look like? No, I don't like that. No, I don't like that. You know, let's just keep it simple. So now that I see it, there's some things I want to just center. We center this down here a little bit more. There we go. So that's it. So now I'm going to copy that and paste. And I'll move that into this one. And again, paste, 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 paste. Okay. So we're going to paste those into there. Now I'm going to show you what we have to do, because right now the Silhouette thinks that it's going to cut this, and we don't want it to be cut. We want this to actually be printed. So we're going to have to change those after we just put these all in there. And this is really cute because you can do it for, honestly, any event. I'm making these for an engagement party, but you could make them for your wedding, for a birthday. You could put whatever kind of message. You could put a picture. Endless possibilities. And remind you that it's cheaper to do it yourself. Okay, so now I'm going to click, whoops, and I'm going to pick multiple, all of them. Okay, and I'm going to go over to my cut. And right now they have them cut edge. We don't want that. We want those to be no cut. Okay, and we go back over here and no cut. All right, now let's just make sure that our actual, those are gonna cut. That's a no cut. No cut. Just want to make sure. No cut. Alright. So those are all set to no cut, and we're good with that. So now what we want to do is, again, whoops, select all of them. And you're just selecting your words. You don't have to worry about it because we haven't merged our image together. And I want to switch the color because I want to, but also because I want it to match with what we're doing. Okay, and then we'll go to the line, and we're gonna get our color here. It's a little lighter than I think that's the closest I'll get. The location that we're having this at has this beautiful, can't agree yet, I think it's turquoise or aqua. It's a mixture, but get those. So there we go. So that's our wording. And the only other thing that you want to do to the image is to hold on a second. Okay, so now if you're gonna get ready to print, okay, obviously my Cameo can't connect yet. I haven't connected it. So because this is because it has the registration marks, we want to first send it to the printer. Okay, so we're gonna send to printer. Here we go. It's going to my beautiful printer. What I might add that I'm not a fan of, I'd say try to do your best to get a printer that is going to print cardstock and everything that you would need in your life, because my printer, it just gives me headaches. You'll hear it in the background. It doesn't like taking up the paper. It doesn't like anything. Again, I suggest you using a heavier print, a heavier type of paper to do this properly. Alright, so now that this is printed, I will actually show you the rest of this offline, but I'm going to print up a couple of these, and I'll show you the next steps in a few minutes. Alright, so this is what happens after we print it. My printer acted like it should act like a printer and printed everything out. I picked gray as my cardstock that I was going to use, only because I like the silver. I like the turquoise or aqua, whatever color you want to call it, Tiffany blue on gray. It's personal preference. So what we're going to do is now we're going to put it into our Silhouette machine. You're going to take your cardstock and put it on your mat. I would suggest there's a adhesive spray, I'll talk about it in another thing, that you can get that, you know, you're able to re-stick stuff, because sometimes these boards, they get unsticky, and you know, I don't want to keep throwing them away, and they're also not really cheap, so I would use that as well. So you're going to put it in the machine. We're going to load it. The first thing that your silhouette's going to do is going to want to register it. So you're going to go ahead and press start. Let's act like the computer actually wants to act right today. Press start. It's now going to register. You know, honestly, I've done 2 takes of this. It just worked when I was off camera. So we're just going to keep playing around, because I don't want to have to keep... Yeah, I don't know what it is. We're going to unload. Let's try this again. Whoops. Okay. Whoops. There we go. Now it is registering properly. I tell you, sometimes it could just be so small as to be that it, I don't know. I'm not even going to act like I know why it doesn't like to register sometimes. But we're all good. We got it done. Now that it's registered, it's ready to print. It's going to register again for some reason. It didn't want to print, but that's okay. We'll be alright. There's nothing perfect, as you can see, about arts and crafts, and instead of cutting out my mistakes and the issues that I'm having, you might as well send it in so that, or film it so that other people can see it's not always going to be perfect. As you can see, it just registered, but for whatever reason it doesn't want to register again. Unload it, try to reload it. Always make sure you cancel out of that. So we're loaded, we're ready. There we go. It's properly registering. Now hopefully it's just going to start cutting, because that's what it's supposed to do. There we go. Now we're cutting. Now we're in business. So as that cuts, what's going to happen is it's going to end up cutting out our little images. Pretty. Simple. Why pay like $20 for these when you can make them yourself? So that's what those look like. Let's move the computer, everything out the way, and I'll show you how we make them. Simple. You're going to get your wood stickies, as I call them, sticks. Simple. You can buy them. They're cheap, easy. Okay, you can find them anywhere, and they're easy to use. So our sticks, where did our sticks go? Oh, you would think I'd be a little more organized when I'm recording, but you know, that's just not the way that I am. Anyone that knows me knows I'm not an organized person. So we have our sticks, and remember how much I told you I'm in love with mini dots, or just the dot movement. I don't really know if it's a movement. I shouldn't lie like that, but dots, love them. Okay, so don't pay attention to the silhouette. It's just doing whatever it wants to do right now. You're gonna take a little dot, take your stick, and I swear to you, this is all that it is. They may put a little more glue or something like this, but this is all it is. You stick that little dot on there. I like to go a little overboard. I'm gonna stick 2 since it's kind of thick. Okay. Take your little thing that you just printed. Now, you can do it one or 2 ways. You can go straight like that, or if you want it to stick out a little bit, which I do because I'm going to call these stirrers, put them like this. Voila. You have a stirrer. Just that simple. Stirrer. Or decoration for a cupcake. Or decoration that you can stick into your wedding cake. Or anything that you really want, little miniature signs for food, possibilities are endless. And that's really all it is. It was that simple. So now if you were to do this into another program, let's say Microsoft Word, you know, you pull up Microsoft Word, make your templates. All I would say is if you're going to cut them, make sure that you're cutting them evenly so they look good. And that's all you have to do. On Etsy, like I said, 25 of these can go for $20. You save a ton of money. That's it, crafters. Thanks for watching.